Welcome everybody, lovely to have you here. My name is Dr. Joy Conlin. I'm a trading psychology expert with Learn to Trade. Maybe some of you know me from our trading psychology webinars. And I am here with an exceptional individual, and we are going to learn all about the life of a trader. And the trader that I have during this episode is none other than Mr. Greg Morgan. Greg is the CEO of Australia Learn to Trade, and Greg is also the Learn to Trade Global Trader of the Year. And we are going to spend the next little while talking all things trading with Greg, all things trading psychology, and you're going to learn a lot of tips and tricks, I guess, from Greg as we peruse, Greg, your life, what took you into trading and how you have learned to master the art of trading.
Exactly. A pleasure to be here with you, Dr. Joy.
Lovely to have you.
Yes.
Lovely to have you, Greg. So you're here in the UK. So how has it been for you this visit?
Oh, it's been fantastic. Look, Smart Charts, our award-winning trading platform, I've come over here because Greg Secker and his team have been building new elements into Smart Charts. It's just become more powerful.
Okay.
And it's really helping beginner traders, get into this game of trading in a simplified, easy to follow manner. And this is what I love about trading, that anyone can do it if they've got the right tools and the right education to help them move forward.
Okay, beautiful. Sounds exciting, and you can tell us all about Smart Charts and the new features as we talk through a few things about trading and how that's really helpful for you and also for everybody who's using Smart Charts, and for anybody who isn't, maybe they should be. So in terms of your journey into trading, it's quite a fascinating background that you have in terms of you didn't start as a trader, you didn't intentionally decide you were going to be a trader when you were younger. In fact, you were exploring the world, and I've often said it, you were exploring other volatile landscapes that, weren't necessarily trading charts. So talk me through and help everybody else learn a little bit about your story and how you found yourself in the world of trading.
Yes, well, my background, Joy, and a few years ago, I found myself in a situation that wasn't giving me the lifestyle I wanted. I've always had a fabulous career, as you know. I've been a television cameraman, foreign correspondent in war zones. I've been shot at in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've shot a film with Jackie Chan, documentaries for National Geo. But I had to give all that away because a few years ago, I found myself in this situation. I was struck down with a serious illness, cancer, as you know. And so I had to quit my job, downsize. There was no money coming in. I was wrecked pretty much physically because of the chemo pumping in to keep me alive, and emotionally I was wrecked. Psychologically, I was wrecked, and spiritually as well. I was down and out, and I didn't know what to do. So towards the end of my chemo, I was getting better, and I was obviously I've beat the disease. I'm sitting in front of you, and I figured, well, I'm not going to go back to work and be beholden to some boss to tell me when to start work, when to finish work, and how much money I'm going to get paid. I thought, stuff that, if pardon the French, bugger that. I'm going to live life on my terms, particularly after what I've just went through, because I well and truly know that life is short. Yeah. We are just passing through this life, Joy. You know that. We all know that. Yeah. So I made a conscious decision that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find something that I can sink my teeth into and enjoy the rest of my life. And then I came across trading. I went to an event in Melbourne. Tony Robbins, you know Tony Robbins?
I know
the
Tony
big global
Robbins.
Guru.
Absolutely.
Well, he was headlining an event in Melbourne, a business event. So I figured I'll go and listen to Tony. Hopefully something will trigger in my mind to find a new business, an online business of some sort, not go back and being away all the time and earning a monthly salary and paying off bills, right? It's not a way to live, because if you work 9 to 5 or 6 days a week, you're just working for someone else. So I wanted to take action. I backed myself, and I went to this event to listen to Tony. But Greg Secker, he was on stage with Tony Robbins. Yeah. When Greg was on stage talking about the currency markets, how that anyone can do this with the right education and being connected to a peer group of traders with the right tools and platforms, you can move yourself forward. So the penny dropped, and I signed up for the award-winning 3-day Learn Forex program. Joy, I've not looked back since then. I followed the plan. I followed the trading strategies that I was taught in Learn to Trade, and I became Global Trader of the Year. I sat one of your trading psychology courses, which we're going to talk about shortly, and I have not looked back. I do what I want when I want. I live the life I want to live, and that's what it's all about. I've got to thank Greg Secker and Learn to Trade and trading. It's transformed my life, and that is an understatement.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm over here now. I mean, I love Learn to Trade so much that I joined the company, Joy, and now I'm the CEO and teaching people how to trade. That's the greatest gift, is helping other people.
Beautiful. And what a story in terms of, a total pivot in life. Obviously, the life crisis, which you navigated incredibly well. And from a psychology perspective, we can look at that in terms of maybe some of the skills that helped you navigate your cancer journey in terms of resilience, positive mindset, growth mindset. We'll talk about all of that maybe when we're talking about trading. But, for anybody listening, essentially, you almost have the perfect story in terms of, I was looking for something different. I was looking for something that could give me some financial freedom, some more personal freedom. And we'll also talk a little bit about your previous career, because it's incredible. You've talked a whistle stop tour there, but it's fascinating. So maybe we'll come back to that. But for anybody listening, you started off where lots of people have started off themselves, and I engage with them on the psychology webinars, and they're maybe at the beginning of their journey. There's always new people joining my webinars, kind of starting out, and then I've got the diehards, love them. They come every week, and it's quite incredible, and they can feel their journey growing. But for anybody starting off, what would your advice be as a trader in terms of doing the course and then following that? How did you navigate from, newbie novice to CEO of Learn to Trade Australia and Global Trader of the Year? How did you transition from novice to expert?
Well, I think it's like anything in life. If you focus your attention on that one thing that you really want, that one thing will come to life. And that's what I did with trading. I could see the potential. But being a novice, I didn't know how to navigate the markets. I didn't know how to pull out consistent winning trades. There are a couple of factors that come to mind. Number one is you need to be connected to a peer group of traders who know how to do this stuff. And number two, you need to manage your risk. Risk management is critical. And the third element would be trading psychology. Because when you see the markets are only, 10%, 20% technical and fundamental, what you see. But what happens in your mind greatly affects your trading results. And not only your trading results, it greatly affects your life, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Your mind, you know that. And I was taught this from you. And it greatly affects your mindset. So it's critically important that you remove the fear and greed of trading and the FOMO, fear of missing out on a trade. But when I first started trading, I was greedy. I thought, I'll hit buy and sell, make some money. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way, because the market's moving different circumstances and the contextual aspect of the market. The news item might hit them, move the market, and you're in a long position, and it goes short, you've lost out, and you think, what the hell is going on? And it's true that 90% of traders fail. 90%, Joy. So why do the other 10% trade, make it in trading? Because they've eradicated their fear and greed, the FOMO. They've got their trading psychology. They become trader readiness, if you like, through your courses and being connected to a peer group of trader. I often say to beginner traders, look, you're coming into this game of trading, and I get gobsmacked when people come to this game of trading. They stick a bucket load of money in their trading account and hit buy and sell and think they're going to make money, and yet they lose all their money, and that's that 90%. You need to support. You need some help. And it's like anything in life, any business. If you're going to be a helicopter pilot, you're going to be a hairdresser. You're not going to fly that helicopter on your own. You need support. You need to watch that helicopter pilot fly that helicopter. Yeah. And the same with trading. You've got to treat it like a business. Treat it clinically and unemotionally. And that is, I reckon that would be the key factor, or one of the key factors of moving forward financially and monetizing the market to your advantage. Clear your mind, risk management, get connected.
So talk to me about connection then within the Learn to Trade community. So you've mentioned that a number of times, and I absolutely believe that, the sense of belonging, because, people can have the skill set, but their psychology can work against them.
Yes.
And sometimes it's about, the added variables, like I learn to manage my risk, but then I also have this supportive community that I can lean into so I don't feel so alone. So talk to us about the supportive community with Learn to Trade.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm biased when I say it, I know, that the Learn to Trade family of traders have got me to where I am right now. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. When I first started trading with Learn to Trade, I was doing quite well. And then I got a bit cocky. And I was putting on 5 trades a day and upping my risk to 5%, 10%. And I'm thinking, I'm a trader, I can do what I like, And I had not done any of the trading psychology at this point. And then I started losing money. I think I lost about $10,000 or $15,000 in a week. And I thought, this doesn't work. This is all BS. It doesn't work. But what happened? My trader mentor that was paired with me in my course at Learn to Trade, this is before I joined the company, he sat me down. He looked at my trading journal. He said, Greg, what are you doing? You can trade, but why are you taking 5 or 6 trades a day? Why are you trading at 5 or 10% risk? I said, well, I'm a trader, mate. That's what I do. He said, no wonder you're losing your money. He said, now wipe out all those trades you got on right now, about another 5. I said, well, if I do that, I'm going to lose another 5 or 6 grand. He said, you want to lose 5 grand? I'm going to lose 50 grand. Cut them out. You start again. Get back on the horse, right? And do some trading psychology. And when I sat the trading psychology workshop, my results, Joy, went like a J curve. I kid you not. And I became Trader of the Year. I didn't plan it, but that's what happened. And that made the biggest difference. And my trader mentor basically gave me a kick in the butt. And that's what you need. If you go to your loved ones, your mum, dad, husband, wife, whatever, and say, oh, I've got a couple of losses, what are they going to say? Oh, don't worry, darling, forget it. But your trader mentor will give it to you. And that's what you want. You want some raw honesty and get that kick in the butt because you know better. And that's the emotional aspect of it.
Yeah, because I guess I often talk to, and I always say the psychology webinars that we have every week, we treat as a little community also, like a community. And like I say, same people come every week and we can have exchanges and questions and we can personalize some of them in terms of if people bring queries, we'll focus on one query, but it helps everybody.
Of course it does.
And so, that sense of people come into trading, let's say, maybe thinking it's like other jobs they've had, and it's so completely different in terms of the mindset that you need to adopt in terms of I really need to approach this very professionally. And where lots of other jobs, I kind of often point out, there's a cause and effect. If I do A, B will happen. Trading is nothing like that. And so it's a little bit, well, not a little bit, it can be as unpredictable maybe as some of the war zones that you were working in throughout your journalist career. And it's that sense of don't know what might happen next, but I can prepare as best I can. And so I guess in trading, what we try to focus on in our psychology webinars is the process, to take people's mindset off the end point. Obviously, people have long-term goals. And I think that's another point maybe you can talk about, the fact that we say trading's not speed dating, it's a long-term relationship. So you need to be in it for the long term in order to achieve your goal. But in order to get there, it's like, you were talking earlier about the community, and no athlete wins the Olympics without their support team. And so you're talking about that lovely community in Learn to Trade where you've got the mentors that can hold you accountable. They can identify maybe mistakes you're making, how you can improve yourself. There's the psychology webinars to help people work on their mindset. But there's that sense of I need to focus on the process and improve my process rather than just focusing on the end result. So what would you say about you and your process in terms of, it sounds like I started off kind of quite, shotgun style, kind of like cocky, kind of shooting from the hip, hey, I'll put on
Take
5.
a few winning trades, thinking it's hot.
And it's like, I would call that, it's like a little bit of mindlessness.
Bit of a cowboy
but
attitude,
there's also that
it?
Cunning-Dunner effect where it's like, I think I know more. So it's when I know a little bit, I think I know more than I know.
You think you take it to another
Precisely.
level and you can't.
And so for you, so your mentor, it sounds like, said, hey, buddy, let's press pause here.
Yes.
Let's rethink what you're doing. So how did your process change after that?
Well, after I got cocky and had a few winning trades,
Yeah.
I just thought I can just get all winning trades.
Yeah.
So that's why I upped my risk
Okay.
and added more money to my account. And then I started losing it.
Yeah.
That's just the cockiness.
Yeah.
You get a few winning trades under your belt and think, oh, this is easy.
Yeah.
I don't need help. I don't need training. So
Yeah.
I pulled myself away from Learn to Trade and went off on my own. I thought, I don't need any coaching or mentorships
Oh, the
anymore.
arrogance. I love it.
I know. And it's so true.
Yeah.
But I quickly fell off that horse quick smart.
Yeah.
And I needed that kick in the butt from the Learn to Trade. I needed that. Because they said, you're doing everything wrong. We did not teach you to take 5% trades. We did not teach you to put 5 or 6 trades on at once.
Yeah.
We did not teach you to go, we've got a long trade and it's losing, put another trade the other way. Where did you get all this stuff from? Right? And it was just the arrogance of a few winning trades. But I quickly learnt that you can fall off this horse quite quickly and lose your trading account. And that's why 90% of people fail.
Yeah.
They lose their trading account and give up. And it's not as though they can't trade. Anyone can trade with the right education and support. You can.
Yeah.
But you start small. I was greedy. I wanted to get big, profitable trades. I know now, and I teach beginner traders that don't go for the 4 or 5 figure winning trades. Start small. Just go for 2 figure winning trades, $35. Get a few of those under your belt. Then move it up to 3 figures, $101, $110, $220. Then move it up to 4 figures. And there's ways of moving it and scaling it.
Yeah.
And that's what I was taught. And that's what I now teach people, how you can do that. But start small. Don't be cocky like me. And it's good that I've had this experience.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about the Learn to Trade community and the trader mentors.
Yeah.
They've done the hard yards like I have.
Yeah.
They haven't lost $10,000 like I have. They've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they've been through that. So they can give you, and they gave me the shortcut to success, what not to do. Does that make sense?
Of course, absolutely. And it also sounds a little bit like, which can happen for a lot of people, we're a certain age in life. We feel like we know what we're doing. We've probably come from a level of being an expert, maybe in a different field.
Yes.
And then we start something and we're novices. And, at the start of every course, it's always good to remind people, there is a transition into being a student. And reflect on that. How are you feeling about being back at the beginning of something? Because I think it sounds a little bit like maybe your ego, when somebody's telling you you're doing it wrong. And it's almost that, again, back to, I know more than you, or stop telling me what I'm doing feels good for me. And you left, but I love the fact that somewhere in there, there's self-reflection, which is super important.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, okay, I kind of calmed my ego, the self-sabotage, which takes people off. And now if you didn't come back, it's almost like I ruined my opportunity of such, having such an amazing life, which you have created. And so it sounds like I managed to talk to my ego, come back and engage and go, okay, listen, just accept that. I don't know everything. 35. I love that you're highlighting that. $35, £35 trades is totally fine.
Yes.
Greg didn't suddenly become Global Trader of the Year. So part of your process then was start small.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Small increments.
And work it up slowly.
Yes. Get the consistency on one trading strategy or 2 trading strategies.
So how do you go about getting your consistency? So again, back to process, thinking about what somebody should do. Let's say they get up in the morning, because that's what we try and focus on, each step of the process and how can you work with your psychology at each step. But in terms of process, taking it step by step, what would you encourage people to do each step of the process?
Well, each trader is different. Every trader is different.
Yeah.
Some traders will trade 5-minute timeframes, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour dailies. Some will trade different trading strategies. Some will trade different times of the day. And some put more risk than others. So everyone's different. My tip would be to get the process right.
Yeah.
You have to go through the hard yards. You have to go through a few different trading strategies to start with and quickly ascertain as quickly as possible which trading strategy best suits you. Now, at Learn to Trade, I was taught 5 basic trading strategies, 5 of them. So I focused on one. A couple of them just didn't resonate with me, the 15-minute timeframes. I can't trade them to save my life, where I know other traders will trade one gold on one 15-minute timeframe called the pip runner, and they make a living off it. I can't do that. You see, everyone's different. So you've got to find a trading strategy that suits your personality. When you do that, then you just trade that. Trade that, focus on it until you get a few winning trades, till you know you've got it right. And that's consistency. So every 10 trades, you might get 6 or 7 winning trades. Well, you know you're onto something.
Okay.
You know you're onto something. Then you stick with that. Now, you're not going to get 10 winning trades out of 10, although it does happen. It's rare. You get losing trades all the time with trading. That's the name of this game.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I get gobsmacked that people think they can come in and do 50 winning trades and walk away and make $1 million. It does not work like that way. That if anyone says that out there, walk away. That's BS. That's a scam, right? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you get losing trades, but your goal is, and that's okay. Even though that hurts, right? As a trader, we don't like it, but it's part of the game of trading. So you get consistency on one trading strategy. Find that one that you like. Stick that in your process. So when you start trading, you've got a focus, you've got your trading strategy down. And that's the reason why, Joy, that top traders pluck all the money out of the markets. They stick to their one trading strategy or two. They don't deviate from it no matter what the market's dishing up at them. Why? Because that gives them the most consistent way of taking money out of the markets without exposing themselves to too much risk.
Yeah.
You know what? When that happens, you can get to a point where you can live off your trading strategy. Off your trading account.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Okay.
Incredible. But you've got to be connected and have the belief.
Yeah.
Have the belief. And that's where a lot of people fail through psychology. They don't have that belief. They're that what is it? The frontal
the frontal cortex. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's protecting your brain.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do this. You're too old. I don't have enough money. I'm too stupid.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what it's like.
Yeah.
But you've got to get rid of all that negativity. And have that belief.
And very much, I guess, what you're talking about there, it's like a lot of people, and it would come up very often in those psychology webinars where they're living in the emotional brain.
Yes.
You know, all of those statements kind of ringing around. It's only when you come up into that frontal cortex
into the rational,
that you're able to say, of course I can do this. I can be great.
You can do anything in life that you put your mind to.
Yeah.
Absolutely you can.
Okay. So picking the strategy, I love that because I'm not sure if everybody listening, if they can actually appreciate fully, but they're learning it today, that you choose a strategy that suits you. And so it sounds like you learned a number of them, learned 5 on that first course, and you played around with some of them. So this is all part of the novice phase.
Which is great.
Played around with a few of them, and then it's like, that doesn't really work. So it's like personalities. It doesn't work with my personality.
Not for me.
Doesn't work with my personality. And then you find, so which one do you use most often?
The T-wave.
Why the T-wave? What was the attraction with the T-wave?
Physically, on the charts, I can see what we call a high-low test bar, right? I won't go into the technicals of it now, but I can just spot them really easy. And when I see a high-low test bar, that's an indicator to me that the market is going to shift direction. A few other things have got to line up, of course.
Yeah.
So I stick to my checklist with my EMAs and a few other things. If they all line up, I'll take the trade. Boom.
Okay. Beautiful.
And I love that. And I can pull out 4.5 grand while I'm binge watching Netflix in half an hour.
Okay.
It is fantastic.
So
I love
talk to me then about T-waves and your process with smart charts.
Well, okay. Well, smart charts has changed so much, Joy. It really has. It's got AI trader tools in it now. It's a phenomenal piece of software. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. It's the essential trader's toolkit as far as I'm concerned. It's got these amazing trading strategies in there that finds the trades for you. It's got AI trader tools that recognizes patterns. Yeah. Because that's what trading's all about, patterns. Right? There's hundreds of different patterns. When you see a certain pattern on a chart, that's an indicator that markets that price action might move up or move down. And you'll want to look for that. But Smart Charts finds it all for you. So it saves you time looking for a trade. And that's where traders fail. They don't know how to find a trade. They don't know how to risk manage that trade to profit or that small loss. Yeah. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to find it. Smart Charts is it for you.
And
it's
Smart
incredible.
Charts has lots, like it doesn't matter what trading strategy. So you like the T-wave, it works for you.
It will find those high test bars and those low test bars for me. Okay. So I don't have to look for them. Yeah. So I can get up in the morning with a cup of coffee, for example. Yeah. And Smart Charts will flash signals at me on the T-wave as if, the Aussie dollar, we found a signal on a T-wave 4 hourly. Get in and have a look at that, Greg. And if you like that, get in, take that trade and make some money. Okay. And if the pairs are not flashing, Smart Chart says don't even worry about the Euro CAD because it's not flashing. There's no trade set up, and it just simplifies my day. So I could trade 2 or 3 hours a day, 2 or 3 days a week, thanks to Smart Charts. But Joy, you have to learn it first. Yeah. You have to learn how to navigate the markets, what it all means, and learn smart charts. And that's what I focused on. As I said earlier, if you focus on that one thing, that one thing will come to life.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make it work.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I had the belief that I could do this with the right people. And the traders at Learn to Trade just blew me away. They were so supportive, so helpful. And they want, and that's what I do now. And all the trader mentors here, that's how we view the world. We view the world through a trader's lens.
Yeah.
It's like our job now is to support and help beginner traders navigate the markets to success.
Yeah.
It's just what we do.
Yeah. So part of the supportive community, let's say the mentors. So for people who aren't in smart charts yet, and maybe they trade on their own, and then there's the people who are in smart charts and who know all about these amazing features. But for people who haven't maybe taken that step to take the education with Learn to Trade yet, or haven't seen the inside of smart charts and the trading community, what is the asset of that trading mentor? So what's the benefit that trading mentors bring if you're a trader and you're working on your own, which quite a lot of traders do, but this support that we've got the smart charts, which is helping give signals and giving some hints and tips and seeing patterns and helping people. And as you say, just making my trading day easier.
Yes.
And then we've got these mentors to keep us in focus.
Us on track.
Yeah. Okay. So talk to me a little bit about the mentoring.
See, as a beginner trader, people who don't know about, I guess, Learn to Trade or smart charts, they try and find a trading strategy on social media, for example, like they watch a few YouTubers and a few TikTokers and a few Insta people and things, and try and assemble a trading plan or trading strategy from that. It doesn't work. It just does not work. And the thing about Learn to Trade and the trader mentors that I found when I was going through the course, they know their stuff. Right? They've got a track record. They've been through the downside, but they've also been through the upside. So they know the pitfalls. They know the shortcuts. And that's knowledge that was passed on to me. And that sort of fast-tracked me. Yeah. Even when I got cocky, they gave me a slap and said, right, stop being cocky, Greg. Yeah. This trading game works, but you're just being greedy and trying to pull out money quickly out of the markets. And trading is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. You've got to treat the markets with respect and patience, and don't, sometimes on the charts it won't be a trade to take. Don't take it. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. You've got to learn to calm yourself down, psychology, calm yourself down and be in the right frame of mind or the right mindset to trade in the first place. For example, if you're really tired, don't trade. If you're drunk, don't trade. If you're having a fight with your lover, don't trade, right? Don't trade. Don't do it. You've got to be in the right frame of mindset. Say, okay, I'm going to get up this morning and look at the charts, be positive. I'm going to just take a couple of trades. I reckon I'll get 2 winning trades. Be positive. Put yourself out there. And that's what I do. Back yourself. And if you get 2 winning trades, great. Well, sometimes I still think, 2 winning trades, I'll put a couple more on and get a couple of winners. I still do it, right?
Okay.
It's just the brain, the mindset doing it. And then I take a couple losing trades and I think, oh my God, why did I do that? I know better than that. And that's the greed kicking in. It's human nature, Joy. You know that. Oh,
it's just chasing. It's almost like the adrenaline junkie kind of wanting.
But trading is fun too. Yeah. It is fun.
Yeah.
I was in Bali recently, trading by the pool. I was flying over here to London, trading on a plane. Yeah. I can do that. Hook up the onboard Wi-Fi, give you a gateway to smart charts, looking for trades. Yeah. Rather than sit back on the plane and drink champagne. Well, I was drinking champagne at the same time, but the lifestyle trader. Yeah. But rather than sit back, watch movies and get drunk, make a bit of money. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. This is what I call a laptop business. If you want to get out of a 9-to-5 grind, you want a laptop business. There's plenty of laptop businesses out there, right? We know that. Yeah. But trading, hands down, wins to me because I'm biased when it comes to trading. When you think about trading, to become a trader, you don't need any stock to sell. You don't need any marketing. You don't need a boss. You don't need co-workers. You don't need staff. You set your own hours. Yeah. It's amazing business to have. Yeah. So I'll encourage anyone to do it, to be quite frank. Yeah. Because if I can do it, Joy, anyone can do it, right? You know that. I have dyslexia. I've ADHD. Been through, hell and back. Yeah. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. Yeah. Absolutely. But get with the right people, right, to do it. Yeah. Right people and then right mindset. So you've mentioned a few times this notion of, I held my focus. So it's like I knew what I wanted to achieve.
and I held my focus. And again, it's over a period of time. It doesn't happen quickly. That's one thing. But then there's that sense, I think, another part of the journey in trading is continual professional development, or continual personal from a psychology and professional development in terms of constantly learning, constantly educating yourself. And there's more courses in Learn to Trade that people can move on and do more courses. There's mentors to help you develop your professional acumen.
And also, there's an AI section coming in.
And I was going to say,
AI trading has started to revolutionize the game of trading as well.
Yeah.
So all these things change, right?
Yeah.
And you want to be part of the change. You want to learn.
You want to be constantly
There's always something
involved.
new coming in to help you with your trading plan.
Yeah.
You've got to have a trading plan.
So talk to me about trading plans, because that's something as well. Some people from a psychology perspective, I do it sometimes, I develop it, but I don't stick to it.
Yes.
All
human
of these,
nature, isn't it?
Human nature,
Move
human
things
behaviors.
around. I know.
That's a different way of risk.
I know.
So what would you tell people about trading plans? What would your advice be?
To become a trader, a beginner trader is not going to have a trading plan down straight away. No, you got to get your what's the word I'm looking for? Get your feet wet, basically.
Yeah.
Try a few things. Now, a trading plan consists of many different elements, Joy, many different elements. It's not a matter of going in there and hitting buy and sell because you love the T-wave. No, you got to work out your why. Why are you trading in the first place? Critical. Why? It could be, I want to pay down my mortgage in 10 years instead of 30 years. I want to put my kids through private education. I want to buy a new car. I want to pay down my car loan, whatever. That's your why. Use the power of the markets to achieve your why. So then you work out your why. And what I did, I wrote down 4 whys.
Okay.
And I put them on the wall, made them tangible, right? Get them out of my mind, make them tangible, make it happen. And so I achieved all my whys. But I put a financial target to my whys. Every month I need to make X amount of money trading to achieve my why. So that's one thing. The why, your financial targets. Then which trading strategy are you going to trade? What time of day are you going to trade? What time frame are you going to trade? What risk management are you going to do every day? So they're just a few elements of your trading plan. So everyone's different. So you get that down and then you stick to it. Like I said earlier.
Discipline.
Yeah. Discipline has so much power in this game.
And you use the word every day.
Yes, every day.
Which feeds into discipline.
Yes.
That discipline isn't some days, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. It's like, no, you take a daily disciplined approach.
And that will give you the consistency.
Yeah.
And that's why the top traders, as I said earlier, take all the money out of the markets.
Yeah.
They stick to it. They've got discipline. They stick to their trading plan without exposing themselves to too much risk. And they grow your account day by day, week by week, month by month, and get to a point where you can live off that trading account.
Because I think when there's discipline as well, there's consistency.
Yes.
When you've consistency, you develop confidence in yourself and your process. And I think part of that confidence maybe feeds into what you mentioned earlier. When I'm using the same strategy consistently, in a disciplined manner, I start to see patterns. And that's part of, I'm becoming confident with my strategy. I'm becoming more confident with the markets. I never feel I can control them or influence them per se, but it allows because I think people underestimate how disciplined they need to be or how important it is. Because we often joke sometimes in the webinars that, you're essentially, I ask people, what is your relationship with authority figures like? Because really you're being your own authority figure here. There's no boss. You are your CEO, your CFO. And so people are setting their own rules, but then not sticking to them. So what do you think that's about?
Well, that's a really good question. I think it's their mind getting to them. Of course it is, right?
Yeah.
The emotional aspect of it. And that's human nature, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's human nature that we do that.
And it's almost like, here's the plan that will help you achieve your outcomes. But it's almost like not wanting to believe that I have to stick to it as rigidly or as disciplined.
That'll give me the results that I want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you change it.
Precisely.
You see a trade moving and you think, it's not moving in my direction, I'm going to change it.
Yeah.
Instead of leaving it, then it'll turn around and come back and take profit target. And then you think, I should have left that.
Yeah.
Why did I move that? Right? Let it run its course.
Yeah.
Take that hit if it's a losing trade. Don't worry about it. Right? Move on.
Yeah. And that's what I say, leave and learn. Use every trade as a learning as opposed to everyone has to be a winner because that's not possible. But as you said, maybe out of 10, you'll have 6 winners. And it's almost like every trade's an opportunity to learn. What would you say about that?
Spot on.
In what sense?
Yeah.
How do you use trades to learn?
Well, you have to look at your trades, winners and losers. Don't just don't ignore the losing trades. Just don't think you've got a few winning trades or think of that. Have a journal, right? And SmartChart's got an inbuilt journal, which is great. So it tracks all your trades, winners, losers, and everything else. So look at your trades and look at your last trades for the month you've taken. And you might have 80% winners. We had 20% winners. In 1 month, you might get 40% losers and 60% winners. Why did they turn out losing trades? What did I do wrong? Didn't I analyze the markets correctly? Was I in the right mindset? Did I use the wrong strategy? What did I do wrong? And you might find out you didn't do anything wrong. But you might work out a pattern that you can eradicate or continue with on the winning trades and losing trades. So always look at what you've done. Always.
Yeah.
And you learn from that. You learn from your winners and you learn from your losers.
Yeah. So every trade. So it's a little bit like we kind of make the analogy sometimes that it's like athletes, sports people. It could be basketball. It might be rugby. It could be a Formula One racer. It could be a sprinter at the Olympics. But it's a case of, if I got the outcome I wanted, it's like, great, what helped me get that?
Yes.
And if I didn't, well, then analyze where was there anything I'd do differently if I can tweak my performance? But again, we're coming back to how do I improve by reviewing my performance? So that analysis is super important. And as you said, there's lovely journals and your trades are tracked in SmartChart. So all that's done. It's a case of then sitting, reviewing. And this is all part of your professional development because you're reviewing your trades to see where can I enhance my performance, the performance in my process.
And you also get your trades reviewed by your trader mentor, your peer trader that's with you at Learn to Trade. And you can go to many of them. Yeah. Can you have a look at my trading account? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Can you help me with something? That's all. That's
a phenomenal resource to have.
And to have that to bounce off is phenomenal. It really is. Like I can bounce off Greg Secker himself, who I think is the doyen of the currency industry. Yeah. But it's fantastic. And I'm connected to those type of people. Yeah. And Learn to Trade have them at your beck and call. Yeah. Why would you not want to use that? Yeah. Why not? Yeah. You want to. And if that's going to help you move forward, then yeah. And that's not disrespectful, like using someone. No, they're there to support you. Well, they're part of the platform. Yeah. They're part of the toolkit. It's a little bit like a university. You have all these tutors, mentors, and some, you find some students say, "Oh, but I don't want to be bothering them, or I don't want to disturb them, or I'm not quite sure." Again, that's the brain working how on often. 100%. That's your psychology working against you, and it's like, here is a company, here is a platform that has everything you need to enhance your performance, to consistently develop yourself, and the mentors, because that's something, I guess, for me, I've often said in the webinars, it's like throughout life, I have mentors everywhere. It could be in hobbies, it could be in in my professional life, that I'm always liaising with somebody who's helping me consistently improve myself. So joining in with the SmartChart community is a nourishing community that fosters growth mindset, and the mentor support is helping you grow as a trader consistently as big as you want to become. Well, there's a well-known saying, Joy, you've probably heard this. If you hang around 5 negative people, you become the 6th negative person. You hang around 5 broke people who complain they've got no money, you'll be that 6th broke person with no money. You hang around 5 successful, consistent traders, you'll be the 6th.
Who wouldn't want to be that?
Correct.
And so you become who you surround yourself with. Yeah. And so if you're surrounded by people, a community, a company, a platform that has a growth mindset, that's always fostering newness, embracing the changes, as you said, the AI revolution that's currently happening, embracing it, bringing it in. Yes. But that's also helping all of their traders to embrace that too. So it's keeping you abreast of all of the newness in the world in relation to trading. So you're only going to become better.
And you're a product of your peers. Yeah. You are. Like I just said before, you want to hang around 5 successful traders, you become the 6th. Yeah. You're hanging around them. You want to hang around those type of people. Remove yourself from those negative people in the world, those broke people, those negative people complaining about the world all the time. Life's too short for that stuff. Do what you want to do.
So it sounds like Learn to Trade exceeded your expectations.
Yes, and that's one reason why I joined the company. Yeah. It really, really is, because I believe in this game of trading and I want to help other people. And that's what Greg Secker set this company up 21 years ago to help people navigate the markets, because he used to work for Merrill Lynch on the trading floor, and he saw traders making a lot of money. And he's thinking, if they can do it, anyone can do it. And he set up Learn to Trade all that time ago.
Yeah.
And it's still going.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is the most awarded company in the world, I think, when it comes to trading, education.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I want to be part of that.
And there's reasons for that,
Yes,
some of which
course.
you're talking about.
Yes.
In terms of the community, the mentoring, the smart charts.
Yeah.
So for people who are in, the Learn to Trade community already, what would you say to them in terms of, because some people, they might be in it, but maybe nervous of availing of some of, the resources. What would you say to them?
Well, I would say to them, without a doubt, sit a couple of your workshops.
Yeah.
Do a few of them.
Yeah.
And then do a few of the courses or workshops again and again and again until you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
It will come. It will come. It's like one of those jigsaw puzzles that you got to stare at for it to pop out at you.
Mm-hmm.
When I sat a few of the workshops, there was one called the Master Trader Workshop, 2-day workshop, and how taught me these advanced trading strategies and tools and indicators. And there was one indicator called divergence. And there's hidden divergence and strong divergence. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand it. It took me 3 times to sit that workshop to understand it. And when I got it, I just used that indicator on my charts and boom, my success rate went from 50% to 80%.
Beautiful.
So there's just one little thing that can help your trading plan, your trading repertoire.
Yeah.
Get that in and just stick to it.
Yeah, but beautiful in the sense of, I guess, for people, I love what you're sharing. It's like the beginning of your journey, which is, you know what, guys, I wasn't getting it straight off.
No way.
I wasn't making massive sums of money. I was trying to figure it out. I was playing around with different strategies. And then there's that sense of, if I study something once, maybe I didn't get it. So I went back to it. So for people who have gone to some of the workshops, it's like, go back again and again. It's like, when you start something new, you kind of stay at beginner level, but every time you attend that workshop, you know a little bit from the previous sitting. So you're not starting from scratch, but your brain is building and able to engage slightly differently. But all of those resources are there because Learn to Trade brings an incredible package. But then it's back to, but the person engaging needs to make the effort.
Yes, absolutely.
Needs to be committed.
Yeah, you've got to be committed. Yeah, you can't expect it all to be handed on a platter.
Or it's all just going to happen magically, easily.
Yeah, again, like anything in life, you've got
Yeah.
to put the effort into it. If you don't put the effort into it and you'll be lazy, it's not going to work. It's like anything, though. Anything in life.
Yeah. And just last question, maybe, because I think this is a big one and people think about it. And you talked earlier about, if you went to your family, probably people, maybe worry about trading if they haven't got the trader mindset. So going to your relatives,
rude.
if you're having a bad day, they'll probably say, I told you so.
Yes.
And so when it comes to risk management, because I think some people will actually define trading as risk management, manage your risk.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people, about risk management and bringing in discipline and mindset and psychology? What would your best advice be for people, for traders, anybody listening, when it comes to risk management and how you can manage that in a way that allows you love and enjoy trading?
The number one rule in trading is to protect your capital account. And you do that with risk management. Now, risk management, I would tell everybody who's listening to this podcast right now, do not do any more than 2% a trade, no matter how strong and good looking that trade is. Never more than 2%. I often say to beginner traders, start with 0.5% risk of your capital to get out of it. Move it up to 1%, 1.5, 2%. I don't do anything more than 2% and I can trade. Right? And I won't do it. And I try to do that at 5%, 10%, and it'll just get wiped out. It'll be that one trade and think, I'll do 5% on this because it look good. That's the one trade's going to knock you out. And then you've just lost all your other winning trades.
Yeah.
Risk management. You've got to stick to your trading plan. And part of your trading plan is how much risk you're going to do on every single trade. Protect your capital at all times. You do that consistently without changing it. You'll see the results.
Yeah, slowly over time. And I love that analogy. No matter how good looking it is, don't burst your boundaries.
Correct.
Keep with your 2% or less.
Yeah.
And again,
step by
work
step,
that up
Joy,
step
right?
by step.
Take that profit, another one. Take that profit, another one.
Yeah. And here we have Global Trader of the Year telling us he still sticks with the 2%.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Not 100%, but
No,
2%.
I get you. 2%, 100% of the time.
Yes.
But that to me says, because I'm disciplined and I have confidence that the markets are there every day, there'll be money to be made.
Yes.
If not today, tomorrow. But I'm managing my risk. And that I think allows you lie back on your beach in Bali and enjoy your trading, enjoy the job, but also enjoy my surrounds, because the amount of people who, maybe are still in that learning stage and their mind kind of, we talk about that as well in terms of how to boundary, put the trade, leave it. We're not going to watch it. We're going to go off and engage in everything else we're doing in life, such as the life that we want to have, which is why we're trading. But I need to be able to let go when I place the trade, go off, enjoy this life rather than sitting in that kind of rumination.
Yes,
what
yes.
advice would you have? This is the last question for Greg, but what advice would you have to people? You mentioned it earlier. It's like, you're not going to change, leave it and learn. But when people, they often say like, I find it hard to, once I've placed a trade, forget about it, leave it. I'm constantly checking how things are going. What would you say to them?
That's normal.
Okay.
As a beginner trader, I was doing the same thing.
Okay.
You'd be watching it like a hawk. But the great thing now is that I can set a trade and go off and do whatever I want because I've got my stop loss, my safety net there, my risk management, my protection, and I've got my take profit target. Now, if it hits one of those, it's fine. Most of the time, it'll hit the take profit target. That's the whole goal. But if it turns around and I'm not watching it, turns around and hits my stop loss, it takes me out of a trade, Joy. I've got a losing trade, but I've protected my capital at all times. I've lost 2% on that trade, or maybe even 1%.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Yeah.
I've got still got my capital intact. That's the whole point. So you want to get to a point with your trading where you can set your trades, leave them, go and enjoy life.
Yeah. And for
And
anybody,
that takes time, Joy.
I was going to say, if they haven't gotten there, they will. It takes time. But I think what helps people get there from everything you're saying is be consistent, discipline, stick with a strategy.
Back your plan.
Back
your trading plan.
And leave it and learn. I love that saying. It's
yeah.
kind of like place your trade, learn from it in terms of use every trade as an that's what we say. It's that kind of our mantra.
And you could also pick up little golden nuggets from the traders that learn to trade that are working on new strategies or the AI tools.
Yeah.
You think, I might have a look at that.
Yeah.
And that's what I picked up. So I add that to my trading plan. Today I'm not going to do the inbuilt trading strategies. I'm just going to look at the AI tools, what they're dishing up, and let me see if they work. If it's working for me, if it is, I'll take a trade. So and that's copy trading.
You're constantly adding to your portfolio.
Yes,
in terms of your knowledge set.
Yeah.
You're never going to get bored in there.
No, never get bored. And it's just another way of making more money, really, when you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I say to people with smart charts, you can trade the Forex, commodity stocks, indices. Why do you want to do that? You want to be a multi-market trader for one reason, one reason alone. It gives you more opportunities to make money with different asset classes in different time frames and different market conditions.
Yeah, lovely.
Why not?
Okay,
Why not?
Beautiful. Greg, thank you so much for your
pleasure.
time. That has been a remarkable episode, and we have learned a lot from you in terms of lots of beautiful information, tips and tricks.
Yes.
And lots of very practical advice that will help traders who've been trading for a long time, new traders, just taking on board from the master himself how to manage yourself, manage your mind, be disciplined and consistent. And I guess hold your focus on your long-term goal and hold your focus each day, each week, and over time, you'll get there.
Yep.
Okay.
Spot on.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Joy. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to seeing you again soon.
And the next one, yes. We'll pick a different topic maybe.
For sure.
Okay.
We can ask people what they'd like us to talk about.
That's a
and
great
that would be
idea.
great. So if there's any topics that anybody would like to hear us discussing, just pop it into the comments and we will
We'll get that
absolutely
sorted.
do that.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Joy.
Thank you.
See you soon.